The question I'm answering this week is, what does a Sunday look like for me as a pastor? And that's actually pretty good timing because we now have church at night. Because of coronavirus, we've had to change locations, and the location we're at has stuff all morning, so we're now at night. And so honestly, this has been something that I've been trying to answer myself. So the first thing I do for sure is I go for a prayer walk. So I am very much about routine on Sundays. It's kind of like a game day for me. Like whenever I have game days growing up, like I would do very specific things. Not superstitious things like the same pair of socks and all that. But there is a routine. First thing I do is I read my Bible. I kind of get in the scriptures, but then I just throw a hat on. I'm still like, I'm not ready, but go for a walk. And I use William Augusto. I'll put him right here or link in the description. I use his soundtrack. I just put it on my phone and I walk. And I have this Quizlet app that has all the names of the people at my church and some basic needs that they have, or some things that I've noticed in their life, or scriptures that I feel called to pray for them specifically. And I just spend that whole time even really praying over the concept of my sermon. So tonight's all about experiencing the fullness of God, and it's these God narratives that we have to understand and apply to our life. And so that's what I'm praying for. Each name specifically. Sadly, there was a time where I didn't pray like very intentionally for my church. I would just pray in general, like, God bless my church, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm like, okay, here's by each name. And it's incredible because I used to say I'm bad with names, but now that I pray for them every week, I know like all my churches, I know everybody's name. Like even after the first week they visit, I put them in the card. Anyways, so it is currently 1:22. Went to my dad's church this morning to show him some support. Went to lunch just with my family, tried a nap. I'm terrible at it. See, when you have service all the way at 5 o'clock, you have all day to think about it. My problem is I tend to overthink. That's where I'm at right now, I'm honestly trying to figure out a new way to, like that hoop, by the way. So we may be meeting in a normal church building now, which we were in a movie theater, but we're still very much a church plant, so we still have our own branding, our own identity, and so I have to go to my dad's house to pick up our church trailer. It serves as advertisement, but also has a few things in there that we need to pull out every week. Again, the fight when you meet at another, I'm backing up so this beeping is gonna be annoying. The fight that you deal with being a church that meets in another church, you have to be very specific with your own brand, just so people know that you are different, and that's a okay thing, it's a good thing. Not so much that we're not them, but that we are us. And we spent 4 years fighting for that, and so we will continue to. Vision leaks, that's why you have to mention it every 6 weeks. Also, you'll notice I'll be changing my shirt. It is just so hot, and literally the moment to get out of the car, get the trailer, hook it up, and take it back out, I'm sweating like a dog. July was literally the hottest July on record in Arizona, and August hasn't gotten any better, and Lord, you haven't given us I even forgot what it's called because it's been so long. What is wrong with me?
Hey,
oh, monsoon season. We haven't had a monsoon storm. Let's try to call Jordan because I was literally talking to her about it today. That we've been gypped this year and we haven't had a monsoon, and now I forgot it. I wanted to call it a tsunami. A tsunami. I always remember that last part, the first Sunday ever of our church plant, going to the movie theater. I was excited and nervous, and I felt this trailer kept bumping up on me. Could not figure it out. Anyways, parked at the movie theater, loaded everything, and towards the very end, one of our guys stepped in, and then the trailer went boop and popped up because it wasn't. Always check that. I checked that like 1,000 times now. By the way, branding, huh? Red. Oh, spider web. Ew. I wait 1 hour. I go pick up my children right now and wake them up and get them ready. And we start heading to church. We set up for 2 hours. We have worship for an hour, and then we tear down for an hour. Let's go to church.
Yeah.
Hey, you were just dancing. Yeah. Where are we going?
To church.
Yay.
And that.
Yay.
Am I supposed to act like
Let's
that?
go check. Got my girl squad. Girl squad.
One mom is
Oh yeah, not the whole
Oh,
song.
yeah.
She's coming! Only 111 degrees. So for about the last hour and a half, we've been setting up for the show. We're adding some new camera angles, and that's still in my ballpark. So got a new camera, Blackmagic Cinema Pocket 4K. Pretty pumped about it. Anyways, now what's hard, still haven't fully figured out, is you go in setup mode, and then you have to like take a deep breath and then go preacher mode. So something I really noticed, I have to like not visibly, but kind of physically take off the hat of setup and put on the hat of pastor. So 20 minutes until prayer time. So kind of winding down. This is what I do normally, kind of get alone, get a little introverted, and just pray for my message, pray over it one last time, and then just be all about people, interacting with folks. If you feel like you have to pray for the message like minutes before, you didn't spend enough time in the week praying for it. Now is the time. It's about to be go time. As you can see, these Jesus letters, we brought them with us. We put them in the foyer, so now we just say, hey, meet me by the Jesus letters if you're new. We have a red box, keeping in step with our movie theater vibe, and it's for new visitors. There's all sorts of stuff in it. Comment below if you want to see what's in there. And then we also want to make it really easy for people to make a decision to follow Jesus. So we have these blue boxes, baptism, water, and so we actually created a whole curriculum. You actually get this free book in it, which is a fantastic book, along with a booklet we made other people go through. So we want to offer that for people. Just grab it on your way out, and then we'll kind of talk with you about when to schedule baptism and all that kind of stuff. Look, some pastors, the way we talk about God, we make him seem like he's not generous. God is a generous God. And I have a hard time believing that because of my dad. No, I'm just kidding. All right. No, actually, my dad's super generous, so that's always been helpful for me. It's just everybody else in my life. Now, here's what this means. Friends, for some of us, God is calling us to detach from money. But we misinterpret that and think, oh, God is calling me to detach from money because he's stingy. No. To experience the fullness of God, what Paul is praying for in verse 19, to know Christ's love, right? He is calling you to detach from cash because you need to detach from control. And your control issue is most evident with your cash. You know how weird we are? We gather together and give 10% of our money. Who does that? We do. Because cash doesn't have control on us, baby. We got control of our cash because God is in control of this world. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, and guess what? He even owns the hills. God will take care of us, so sure, I'll keep giving because I know the giver. You cannot be consoled by God if you want to keep control of God. The false self will do everything it can to control God. Why? Because the false self does not trust God.
Hang on.
Here we
Hang
go.
on.
Right in here.
Poor Trey. Look at her.
Okay, ride's over.
Focus, cancel. And that is it. We are done. I'm exhausted. We're going out to dinner with all these folks. Pretty good night.